Do Manchester United still need Cristiano Ronaldo? Where I think Ronaldo should play from 2025 onwards, and the clubs he can move to next summer to extend his legacy. So Cristiano Ronaldo will now be staying with Manchester United until at least January, but what does this mean for Manchester United and for Ronaldo himself? But before I get into that, I have got a special announcement from the sponsors of today's video, OneFootball, which is now the place where on a Saturday night, if you're in the UK or Ireland, you can watch one free Italian Serie A game each weekend. As well as this, you can also use all the other football features that I've spoken about before with OneFootball. So if you are interested in watching European football, but just don't have anywhere to watch it, then you can go to the competition page linked in the description, and you can check out the free match that will be streamed this weekend. You can also watch highlights of all the Serie A games, and near live instant clips as well whilst the games are going on. And by downloading the OneFootball app, you will be helping to support the channel. Well, from Manchester United's point of view, I think it's very much a positive thing. Ronaldo is not the type of player to sulk on the pitch enough to allow his performance level to decline, particularly with the added competition he now has with Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford, both improving immensely from last season. I also think that despite the issues that Ronaldo has apparently caused in the dressing room, now the transfer window is over and it's clear Ronaldo will stay, I think a lot of these will be put onto the back burner because it's Ronaldo as well, his status, his work ethic, and his continued ability means that players, primarily the English players, who have been moaning about him, probably aren't going to continue to make a fuss and leak information if United's form continues to get back on track, as it has been in the last few games. If you do want to see the reason behind Manchester United's improvement in recent games, then check out my analysis of the matches against Liverpool, Southampton and Leicester, which will all be linked in the description. But I also think the benefits of having Ronaldo in the squad far outweigh any negatives. There's this narrative that Ronaldo doesn't suit Ten Hag's playing style, which whilst from a pressing point of view could be the case, with Rashford's acceleration and overall high energy potentially being a key weapon in the pressing system. But Ronaldo still does his job out of possession, and pressing isn't just about racing to close down defenders at speed, it's also about positioning yourself correctly to cut off passing lanes and force the opposition over to one side. As we saw against Leicester, United can hold a high position in a 4-2-3-1 without necessarily pressing aggressively throughout the whole game. Ronaldo also has world-class movement and finishing ability that no one else in the United side can offer. Yes, Rashford on his day is a fantastic one-on-one finisher in front of goal, and as of recent has linked incredibly well with Sancho and Fernandes, but Ronaldo showed last season that he can do this consistently, and during big games, during big moments as well. I think a front four of Ronaldo with two of Rashford, Sancho or Antony either side, and Fernandes in behind is not only fantastic in terms of ball carrying, chance creation and finishing, but also extremely well balanced in regards to Ten Hag's system. And so from a tactical point of view, I think Ronaldo can fit in seamlessly to this United side when they do use that 4-2-3-1. So from Manchester United's point of view, I think keeping Ronaldo for this season is a massive boost to their hopes of getting into the top four and winning a trophy, as even if they had allowed him to leave, they really wouldn't be able to bring in anyone of his calibre. Yes, Osimhen was being talked about, but I'm not sure how close that deal actually came, as it seemed more of a theory with Ronaldo potentially going to Napoli. But even then, I would still prefer to have Ronaldo this season over Osimhen, but we'll come on to who I think Ronaldo's long-term replacement to be in a future video. So if you want to see that, subscribe and put a comment in the comment section. From Ronaldo's point of view, whilst ideally he would have got a move to say a Bayern, Real Madrid or PSG, I think staying at United, whilst also being his most realistic option even at the start of the window, is still a fairly good situation for him, I would say, mostly because of the business United have done towards the end of the transfer window and how they seem to have drastically turned around their poor start to the season, seemingly now being in a fantastic position to fight for second place alongside Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool and Chelsea. If he can lead United to a top 4 finish as well as an FA Cup or Europa League victory, I think it will be a success for Ronaldo, leading the rebuild of this United side and starting off the Ten Hag era with success. But after this season, I think it would probably be best for Ronaldo to leave at the end of the season on a high, unless both Ten Hag and Ronaldo 100% wanted the Ronaldo Manchester United project to continue, which it certainly could with Ronaldo and United having the option of extending his contract by another year, as well as Manchester United potentially being in a position to compete for the title this time next year. However, let's assume that Ronaldo will not extend his United contract. Where should he go? Well, given Ronaldo will be 38 at the end of the season, I think it's best if we plan out the rest of his career path, as he has to make every season count from now on, as he is on the cusp of retirement. Given that we've seen players like Ibrahimovic, Totti and a few others play till their late 30s, early 40s, I definitely think that Ronaldo can play at the top level in Europe until the age of 40, 41 at least, and even until 43, 44 in other leagues outside the top level of Europe as well. If I was in charge of Ronaldo's career path, I think the main thing is to extend and build upon his already legendary legacy, and so I think the MLS would be the perfect destination for him to finish his career, being the ideal player to bring football to America, making an even bigger impact than David Beckham did in 2007. If you do want me to do a dedicated video on Ronaldo, Messi, even Neymar in the MLS, put a comment in the comment section below to let me know. But just quickly, in regards to Ronaldo, I think it's likely he has 2 or 3 more seasons left in Europe at the end of this one, and I think the summer of 2026 after the World Cup in the US, Canada and Mexico would be the perfect time for Ronaldo to make that move to the MLS. So that gives Ronaldo the seasons of 2023 to 24, 24 to 25 and 25 to 26 left in Europe. I would like to see him return to Sporting Lisbon for a season before going to America, though I don't think next season is the right time for him to make that move, as while Sporting would be in the Champions League and competing for the Liga NOS title in Portugal, I think Ronaldo can still move to a club within Europe's big leagues who still have a chance of going deep into the Champions League. So let's say he spends 2025-26 at Sporting, going back to his childhood club and looking to bring home the title to the green side of Lisbon, which he wasn't able to do in his only season with them in 02-03 before his big money move to Manchester United in 2003, and it would be the perfect send-off from Europe for Ronaldo as well, being back at the place where it all started. So that means that we need to find a destination for Ronaldo for the 23-24 season and the 24-25 season. But before we look at the options, let's first outline the requirements for Ronaldo's next club. Well, first and foremost, they have to be in the Champions League. Secondly, they have to stand a good chance of getting to at least the knockout stages of the competition, and they also need to be competing for their domestic league title. Now, in regards to Ronaldo's wage package, I think he would have to take a significant pay cut, which I do think he would be willing to accept as long as he was still the highest earner at the club, which shouldn't be an issue for most sides. So my first option is Napoli, a team that Ronaldo was heavily linked with towards the end of the transfer window. Now, Napoli would fulfill all 3 requirements I mentioned, being the sort of club who should be getting out of the Champions League group stage, and even though they haven't won Serie A since 1990 with Maradona, over 30 years ago, they are still regularly involved in the conversation for the Scudetto each season, and I actually think the fact that Napoli haven't won the league in so long, and since the legendary days of Maradona, makes a transfer even more appealing from Ronaldo's point of view, as it's a type of challenge he would relish, and just winning Serie A alone would significantly add to his legacy. I think Ronaldo could play alongside Osimhen up front, or be his replacement should Napoli sell him for big money next summer, and I do think Ronaldo is the type of player that not just Spalletti can build a team around, but also the calibre of player that the Napoli faithful would grant icon status to. Now, we'll come on to whether Napoli would be my first choice club for Ronaldo later on, but let's first look at some of the other options. I think Bayern Munich, certainly from Ronaldo's perspective, would be an excellent move. Bayern haven't fully replaced Robert Lewandowski, so Ronaldo could come in and fill the void of being the main man in Bayern's attack. Ronaldo would be playing in a top European league that he hasn't played in before, and almost certainly would add another domestic title to his collection. And you'd have to feel that Bayern would be in pole position to win the Champions League alongside the likes of Real Madrid, Manchester City and Barcelona, so Bayern would definitely seem like a destination that would suit Ronaldo. From Bayern's perspective, I think a 1-year deal with the option of another would be a good move for them, as they would get a world-class striker with top-level goal-scoring ability in the Champions League that could be the difference that Nagelsmann needs in the latter stages of the competition. However, Bayern do seem to shy away from these big deals for big name players who are aging, and so given that they passed on the opportunity of signing Ronaldo this summer, I think they have their eyes set on a younger, longer term Lewandowski replacement, which is why I'd probably put this deal in the maybe category. Back to Italy, and I think either AC or Inter Milan would also be suitable destinations for Ronaldo. AC Milan do need a centre forward with Giroud and Ibrahimovic, now clearly in the twilights of their careers, and Milan seems to be a club with the history and the current standing to attract Ronaldo. They are probably in a better position to challenge for Serie A and for the Champions League than Napoli at the minute, and are certainly a bigger club historically. For Milan, they've already won the Scudetto, and so the logical next step is to push for competing for the Champions League. And it may take bringing in a player like Ronaldo to give them that edge, which is why I do like the idea of Ronaldo at AC Milan. For Inter, it would require them to probably sell Lautaro Martinez, which I don't think they should do, and I'd prefer to keep the Argentine over bringing in Ronaldo, simply for the long term. But let's say Real Madrid, Manchester United or Chelsea come in with an offer of £90 million plus, then I think allowing Lautaro Martinez to leave and replacing him with Ronaldo for a season or two would be a very good move, and I think he'd suit playing in Inzaghi's 5-3-2 system alongside Lukaku up front. And so like with AC Milan, this is a deal I do like, but would depend on the future of Lautaro Martinez. Roma could also be an outside of the box option if they are to get into the top 4 this season, and I think reuniting with Mourinho and playing alongside Tammy Abraham, potentially with Dybala in behind in a 5-2-3 system, could mean that like Batistuta for Capello's Roma in 2001, Ronaldo could be the missing goal scoring piece for Mourinho's side to push on and win the Scudetto for the first time in over 20 years. Apart from these 5 clubs, I do think it's hard to see Ronaldo going anywhere else in Europe next season, unless of course he stays at Manchester United. I think despite Bayern Munich being somewhere that Ronaldo would probably want to go, I don't see that move being viable unless Bayern have a drastic change of transfer policy, and so Ronaldo's most likely destination seems to be a return to Italy by default. As I said, with Inter it all depends on the Lautaro Martinez situation, and ideally for Inter they would keep him, so I will have to put them in 4th place. Out of Roma, Napoli and AC Milan, I think all things being equal, assuming these sides all get into the Champions League in these scenarios, I would put AC Milan 3rd, as I think Milan are moving in a younger direction, focusing on bringing in players under the age of 25, and so far it's working out extremely well for them. And even though the move makes sense for Ronaldo, I think Milan would maybe be better building a team as a cohesive unit, rather than around Ronaldo for a season or two, as they've already won the Scudetto, and so don't need to put all their hopes on one player. For Napoli and Roma, however, I do think they could do with having Ronaldo as a talismanic figure to build the side around, and I think Ronaldo would thrive and achieve hero status amongst both sides' fan bases. Assuming both get into the Champions League next season, I would have Napoli as my first choice option, as I think Osimhen will likely be sold for a huge fee next summer, and Napoli not only need a top level centre forward but a Maradona-like figure, which Ronaldo would certainly be, whilst Ronaldo at Roma as at Napoli would have the challenge of winning the Scudetto for the first time in a generation, and in doing so would add another immense achievement to his legacy. I think with Roma already having Abraham and Paulo Dybala, from a tactical point of view, I think he fits in a lot better at Napoli, and the idea of Ronaldo in Naples to me is something I would relish the opportunity of seeing. So let me know where you think Ronaldo should go. Should he stay at Manchester United for another season, or should he go to any of the places I've suggested, or somewhere else maybe? And if you do like this video, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you get notified when my videos come out, and check out the description for some of my other videos as well.